where today I will not make pasta. I do make things other than pasta, but I have to say right off the bat, this is not my recipe. This is Pastor Glenn and Debbie Berteau's recipe. They are Cajun from New Orleans, and they have already shared this recipe, so I'm sharing it with permission. But we are gonna make Cajun style jambalaya. This is the bomb recipe. So, first thing you need are about 8 chicken thighs. 8 chicken thighs. So once these are patted dry, about 8 chicken thighs, you're gonna add, and you want this brand, Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning. I know for sure you can get this at Walmart. I think you can also get it at Target. I can smell my pans, they're hot. You do want hot pans. I'm going to use 2 cast iron skillets. If you have a big pan that can go on stovetop and in the oven, that would work too. But I'm just gonna put it into 2 different pans. I'll just kind of split the recipe in half. And you want to use oil with a high smoke point. So either avocado oil, which is what I'm using, or coconut oil are the best. If that's not a familiar term to you, it just means if you use olive oil, you can't make that oil go high without it burning itself up. So it tastes like burned. So I have avocado oil, I have 2 pans on high on the stove. I'm gonna take Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning, and I'm going to liberally sprinkle it all over this chicken so that it's nice and seasoned. I'm gonna get it on both sides of all the pieces. There is no amount to this, it is your preference. This stuff is spicy, but it's also gonna cook out a little bit. So I'm doing both sides, and then I'm going to get these into a hot pan and sear them on both sides. Okay, seasoned chicken. Here we go, I'm gonna put it in the pan without burning myself. I'm gonna let that go for a couple minutes on each side, and then I'm gonna add andouille sausage. So the brand of andouille that I used was this stuff, but you can also use whatever brand you can find. This is found in the like bacon sausage part of the store, the prepared meats. And you're gonna cut the andouille sausage into coins. And then these will get added to the pan with the chicken as soon as the chicken is seared on all sides. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will show you what it looks like once that part is completed. Okay, so chicken has seared in the pan, very hot pan, avocado oil, and now we've got the andouille sausage, which I cut into coins, also searing in the pan. Now I'm gonna add this puree of vegetables. This is 2 large onions, 2 large green bell peppers, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, pureed so you don't have all the chunks. If you like chunks, you could leave it chunky. Because I'm making this in 2 pans, I'm just gonna split it between the 2 pans. I've also lowered the heat on the pans to just over medium. And I'll probably need to lower it again as soon as the liquid starts to boil. So now I'm gonna add 3/4 to 1 cup total chicken broth. And I'm gonna do that again, half and half. And these pans are hot, so this is simmering pretty quickly. As soon as it gets to a really good simmer, I'm actually gonna turn it down, and I'm just gonna let it simmer for 25 minutes. So 25 minutes on the stovetop. And I think I might even need to cover it too, but I will let you know if I had to do that. I gotta go look at the recipe again. Again, not my recipe. Pastor Glenn and Debbie Berteau, who I love. This is their authentic New Orleans recipe, but I'll get back to you on the lid. But it does have to simmer for 25 minutes. Okay, we are 25 minutes now. These pans have been simmering with meat on the stove, both our chicken thighs and our andouille sausage with the puree of vegetables inside of them. And now it looks like this. So we're working on flavor, we're working on the meat cooking through. Now we're going to add 3 cups of jasmine rice. And because, again, I'm doing this in 2 pans, I'm going to split the 3 cups of jasmine rice between my 2 pans. Then we're going to add 2 1/4 cup of chicken broth. So again, I'm going to split that between my 2 pans. So I'll do 1 cup in each, plus split the 1/4 cup. And then we're going to add sea salt. Sea salt gives it the salt it needs, but in the sea salt form, it's a little bit grainier. And this is just kind of as much as you think. You can always salt later. The last ingredient we're going to add is kitchen bouquet. This adds flavor and seasoning. It also adds color. And the color is really important for jambalaya. People from New Orleans, like, they'll judge your jambalaya. In Seattle, maybe not so much. But this is actually kind of hard to find. It's really expensive on Amazon. I found this tiny little bottle at Walmart. So, and that's the only place I could find it. So, Walmart. So we're gonna add enough to add the color that we want to our jambalaya. And we just know that the seasoning comes with it. So it adds this rich, dark brown color, which will be much easier to see when we get to the point where the rice has cooked, but I'll at least give you a visual of how much darker that is now. It was kind of green before from the vegetables, but now we've got this rich, earthy color. And then I'm gonna put the lids back on, and I'm gonna simmer this for another 25 minutes in the oven. 350 degree oven. It's going to go in for 25 minutes, and then we're going to take it out and stir it, and then it'll go in for another 25 minutes. So this is low and slow cooking. It's an hour and a half of cooking. It's totally worth it, trust me. But these will go into the oven, and then we will show you what they look like. The reason we're going to stir it halfway through is because you do not want crunchy rice. So any rice that's outside of the liquid, we want to get it into the liquid. So we'll show you what it looks like in 25 minutes. Okay, the timer just went off for the first 25 minutes that this has been in the oven. This is an easy one because all we're going to do is take it out and stir. So this is no problem, but I do want you to see why. So first of all, you'll notice the beautiful brown color that we've got from the kitchen bouquet that needs to be stirred in a little bit better. But notice how the rice on the top looks a little bit crunchy, and that's because it needs to be underneath the liquid. So this is why we're going to stir each of these pans, and then we're going to put them back in for 25 more minutes. Quick Bertaux story, just in case one of my Bertaux friends happens to see this. I want to give a lot of props to Glenn and Debbie Bertaux. They loved on Brandon and Di Beals when we first moved to Modesto, and they loved on us in many ways. Debbie actually helped Brandon pick out a house for us that I never saw. Never saw that house until I moved in, which is amazing. So she talked me on the phone through the entire house and described it in detail for me so that I could see it. But as a housewarming present, when my boys were born, and any other holiday, anything, Debbie would show up at my house with Cajun food. That makes my mouth water just thinking about it. Also, because I wish you could smell how this smells right now. Amazing. So crawfish étouffée, or she'd show up with gumbo, or she'd show up with this giant pot of jambalaya that we would be able to eat off of for a week. They invited us over for every holiday. It all was Cajun food. It was amazing. So shout out Pastors Glenn and Debbie Bertaux. If you see this, we are forever indebted and we love your cooking. But I'm gonna let this go for another 25 minutes and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, the timer just went off. That means it is time to take out the jambalaya that took 25 minutes of cooking on the stovetop and now 50 minutes in the oven. Everyone's hungry. Everyone wants to eat it. Remember, I divided it into 2 pans, so I'm just gonna take out one for now. Oh, it's so beautiful and it smells so good. I'm gonna add salt to it, and then I'm gonna let my assistants give it a taste. First, we have to show it to the camera though. All the chicken is tender, so it's just falling apart in the pan. Notice it's nice and brown. That's from that kitchen bouquet we used. It's basically been slow cooking in the oven. You wanna give it a taste? Come give it a taste.
Okay, Lydia's gonna try it.
Both of you, come on.
Lydia's gonna try it with her Doritos grapefruit soda.
That's not mine. It's probably really hot, so don't take too big of a bite. Okay. That's a very big warning. You want a bite?
It looks a little bit too hot.
Let's get a good one.
Smells good though.
I
2
wish
thumbs
you could
up for the smell.
Yeah, it's super earthy and
It's so flavorful
spicy
too.
and tender. I'm gonna try a bite too.
It is delicious.
You have to try this recipe. Once again, not my recipe. Shout out to the Bertos. Authentic from Louisiana.
It's delicious.
I don't care what you've had before, you have not had real jambalaya until you try this. Give it a try. And if you need the recipe, let me know and I will send it to you.